Well, for more on the Prime Minister's visit to the United States, joining us from the newsroom is Siddhant Sibala, correspondent. Siddhant, good afternoon. Siddhant, talking at, Prime Minister Modi and US President Trump striking a chord, but purely in terms of takeaways, what are the big takeaways that Prime Minister Modi has from the United States?
Well, it's usually the body language which makes the headlines these days, and especially handshakes with the President Donald Trump. And handshake, of course, there were smiles, there were handshakes, and of course there were bear hugs. So from the body language, it was a win-win for both India and of course the United States. And key deliverables, they started before they actually met with the US State Department declaring Syed Salahuddin as a global terrorist, which was a vindication of India's long-standing point that Pakistan has been harboring terrorists and has been indulging in state sponsorship of terrorism. And of course, the other deliverable was convergence of interest in various issues, and both of the countries finding each other as a partner in an increasingly dynamic and a changing world. So of course, the strategic convergence was the key deliverable, and of course terrorism other. And of course, if you look at a joint statement, it clearly lambasted Pakistan for harboring terrorists, and of course asked Pakistan for not providing their territory as a safe sanctuary for terrorists. It also mentions 26/11 and Pathankot terror attacks, and also asked Pakistan to expedite the cases. So of course Pakistan's name clearly being mentioned in the joint statement, which is of course another vindication of India's point. And the other discussions were on defense, especially on the drone deal, in which US has offered 22 Guardian drone to India, and it will be really important for India's strategic security in a neighborhood which is of course increasingly becoming vulnerable and not very stable, given the fact that if we look at our neighbor in Pakistan, it's a country which has created a problem for not only India but its other two neighbors, Iran and Afghanistan. But talking about the visit, the meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Donald Trump, it also talked on various other issues, especially economic issues, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi inviting the daughter of the President Donald Trump for the Entrepreneurship Summit in India, and she has graciously accepted that. She actually in a tweet welcomed the move. So all in all, it's a win-win for India and of course the United States. Earlier, India and the United States have had a talk on the phone, the leadership thrice, and this was the first face-to-face meeting which was positive and leaving a strong foundation for later developments. Remember, G20 is also around the corner, and 20 of the most powerful economies will be there, including President Donald Trump, whose first G20, it's his first G20. So there are expectations, of course, will there be a meet or will there not be, because early in G20 summits, President Obama met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So that there's a continuation in policy of a strong bilateral relationship between United States and India. And United States sees India as a major ally when it comes to Asia Pacific, and has mentioned many times about the Indo-Pacific region. It's an important position, because India-Pacific means a growing stature India enjoys in the entire region, from Indian Ocean to South China Sea.
Okay, Siddhant, if this deal comes through, this drone deal comes through, how does it help, modernize India's military operations? What are the benefits that these drones bring to strengthen India's military operations?
Well, Anil, this drone deal is an important development, because it gives a strategic edge to the Indian Navy. And already in the last administration, the Obama administration had labeled India as a major defense partner. So it will give an important edge. And of course, as I already talked about, the increasingly unstable neighborhood we are living in. So it is an advantage for India, and hope this deal will obviously lead to more such deals. And of course, a first deal under the Trump administration, and Trump administration increasingly hopeful of creation of more American jobs. And yesterday, while there was this mention of the deal in the joint statement, the Trump administration also talked about convergence of economic relationship between both the countries. India's Make in India policy, while the America First policy of Trump administration, there were of course critics always criticizing that how there will be a convergence of interest when both of them want to have their own manufacturing, but increasing deals such as increasing strengthening ties, and of course deals such as these will create jobs, and of course it's a win-win for both India and America.
Okay, Siddhant, we'll leave it there. It's surely going to be interesting to see when this particular deal finally, you see that happening on the dotted line. But at this point of time, Prime Minister has landed in